Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So last week I shared how a bunch of pro-Trump media figures were paid millions of dollars to push Russian propaganda. Now there's reporting that fake pro-Trump Twitter accounts have been popping up and they've been outed. Also, some on the right were being paid to push these sexist Kamala Harris smears. So this was so shady that even former Congressman, devout liar George Santos wanted nothing to do with this. That's how bad it was. So I'll give you all the details. First, here's the deal about the smear campaign. Initially, this group was spreading misinformation and propaganda about Joe Biden, Trump's hush money trial, the judge in that case. Then it morphed into something else after Biden dropped out of the race. So according to Semaphore news outlet, a secret network of influencers was paid to spread lies about Harris and her sex life. In fact, one of the people received more than $20,000 for just a few weeks of work. Basically, just a few weeks of propagating these fabricated stories. And so these stories include the lies I've mentioned previously about Harris, you know, the one about her having an affair with the married former San Francisco mayor, Willie Brown. Brown was legally married when he and Harris were together, but Brown and his wife had been separated for 10 years or more at that point. So they weren't even hiding it. They were out in public together. He was a free agent and able to do whatever he wanted. There were a bunch of other lies too, as we all know. And Semaphore found that the group was very concerned about their identities being discovered for some reason. So this group was led by someone who was supposedly named James Bacon. And these influencers were being paid online. They were paid through the platform called Zelle. And evidently, they held Zoom meetings with all of their cameras turned off. They also used aliases. So for some reason, I mean, it makes it very suspicious why they would not want people to know who they were. So Semaphore was able to determine the identity of one of these participants in the Zoom calls, because according to another participant in the Zoom meeting, it was former Congressman, now convicted felon George Santos. So this other participant wasn't named by Semaphore, but they were willing to speak with them. And they told the news outlet that when this whole plan was hatched to basically slut-shame Harris, Santos actually complained about it. He complained on the Zoom call and then he got off. He exited the Zoom meeting. And then 2 days after that, he posted on Twitter, which, you know, none of us knew why or what it was all about, but he posted, quote, "Conservative influencers talking about Kamala's sex life and race. Please, God, make it stop. I don't pay my bills or fill up my car with this nonsense." So when a planned political attack is so skeezy that even Mr. Jewish, Mr. I steal money from dying dogs is turned off by it, you know it's a bad idea. But as we all know, they ran with this and it had disastrous consequences for Trump, especially with regard to female voters. So Semaphore tried to reach this James Bacon, supposedly guy. They tried to reach him through a Gmail account where he was sending out the links for Zoom. They received no response. And then they tried to reach him at a phone number. This is really interesting. They reached out to a phone number that was associated with this Zoom account. And shortly after they left a message asking questions about this group, the phone number was disconnected. Now, they said that there is a guy named James Bacon, and he used to work as an aide to Donald Trump, but Semaphore said, no, we've determined this is not the same person. Based on their voices, they sound nothing alike, not the same guy. Semaphore said they've unfortunately hit a dead end. They cannot figure out who is behind this smear campaign, who funded it. They wrote, quote, "Organizers told participants that the money was connected to a wealthy American who they named but a political operation that figure is connected to heatedly denied any connection to the influencer operation, and there's no evidence to link them. So could be that person and they're lying, but there is no evidence. So unfortunately, that's where it's at. But they did point out Trump was pushing these same false stories and smears about Harris around this same time. So was he just picking up on this from the influencers, or was he the one directing it? Was this a coincidence? Who knows? Anyway, in regard to the fake Twitter accounts, there's a London-based research company. They're called Center for Information Resilience, CIR. They found at least 17 social media accounts that claim that they just love the apricot Antichrist. But they also found that these accounts are using stolen photos from European influencers. So, for example, one account claims to be the 32-year-old woman, a female MAGA supporter named Luna. And Luna says she's from Wisconsin. And this account is just filled with praise for Trump. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories about Kamala Harris. Well, CIR says, it's bogus. Luna's photo is fake. It's a real photo, but apparently it's of a German fashion influencer named Debbie Netterloff, who has absolutely nothing to do with American politics. So CIR said some of the accounts, quote, use stolen photos manipulated to include Trump and MAGA slogans on items of clothing, or in some cases, images that appear to be AI generated, and use some hashtags and similar posts, which often include English language errors. So definitely not an American operation. They also said that the accounts try to exploit existing divisions within the U.S. They talk about LGBTQ issues, COVID, Ukraine aid. Unfortunately, as with Semaphore and this whole smear campaign, CIR hasn't been able to determine who's behind the accounts. But they say most of the accounts have blue check marks. So guess who knows who they are, or should know? Elon Musk and his company should know who they are, who their real identity is, or who they are in real life, and the fact that they are BS. So yeah, and this isn't the first time that he's been warned about fake accounts trying to influence the presidential election, but he doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. That if the roles were reversed, if these were fake Biden or Harris fan accounts, he would do something about it. He would be spreading it. He would be shouting it from every rooftop in America. But he's become a card-carrying, Kool-Aid drinking Trump humper. So there you go. We get nothing. All right. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more. But yeah, a lot of shady stuff going down. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.